start our topic. Now Rohil Khan, please be attentive. Okay, we have started our topic with some unusual plants. Okay, so plants that are different from green plants are known as unusual plants. First kind of unusual plants that we are going to discuss are non-green plants. Why they are known as non-green? Because they do not have the green pigment. Plants that do not have green pigment, that is chlorophyll, are called non-green plants. And as they do not have green pigment or chlorophyll, they cannot undergo photosynthesis. They cannot prepare their own food. These plants cannot prepare their own food. They depend on other plants and animals for food. Okay, some of the examples of non-green plants are bread mold, mushroom, bracket fungi, etc. Okay, see, this is bread mold. Yesterday I have given you an activity to grow bread mold at home. How many of you have done that? Have you tried? Okay, bread mold. Have you ever seen fafund? That is bread mold. Okay, okay, ये बासी ब्रेड पे आ जाता है. So bread mold, mushroom and bracket fungi. These are the examples of non-green plants. Okay, next. Okay, now when we talk about bread mold grows on decaying matter. Okay, if our food is getting decayed, bread mold will grow on that decaying matter. So bread mold takes food from dead and decaying matter. It grows on rotten food. Then mushrooms have root-like structure, thin root-like structure that go deep into the soil to absorb food. Mushrooms absorb food from soil. And bracket fungi grow on tree trunks. Check this. These bracket fungi grow on tree trunks and they get their food from tree. Okay, and mushrooms have root that go inside the soil and they get food from the soil. And this bracket fungi, this greenish part, this is bracket fungi and they grow on decaying matter. Okay, they grow on decaying matter. In this way, these non-green plants take their food. Next kind of unusual plants are known as insectivorous plants. Okay, insectivorous plants. Yes, Ranveer.
Yes.
Have you heard about insectivorous plants? Insectivorous plants. What do you mean by insectivorous? Plants that eat insects. Have you ever heard? Ranveer, answer. Have you ever heard?
Yes.
Plants that eat
No.
insects. Okay, so they are unusual. They are different from others because they eat insects. Other plants prepare their own food. Okay, so plants that eat insects, capture, kill and digest insects are known as insectivorous plants. Okay, they are known as insectivorous plants. They are also known as carnivorous plants. Another name for insectivorous plants is carnivorous plants. Okay, another name for insectivorous plant is carnivorous plants. Example of such plants is pitcher plant, sundew plant and Venus flytrap. Viven, what do you mean by carnivorous animals?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, carnivorous plants mean the plants that eat insects.
Okay, and now what do you mean by carnivorous animals?
Ma'am, carnivorous animals eat the other animals.
Very good, very nice. Why these insectivorous plants are known as carnivorous plants? Because they eat insects. Okay, because they eat insects. Examples of insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, sundew plant and Venus. See, this is pitcher plant. This is sundew and this is Venus flytrap. All these plants capture insects. They, whenever insects sit on them, this in pitcher plant, it closes the lid. There is a lid over here. Okay, it closes the lid and the insects goes in the pitcher. Okay, in the pitcher and gets digested there. Here it sticks on this. Sundew plants is like that. It is very attractive. Insects get attracted to this. Okay, and here also in Phoenix flytrap, when insect sits over here, can you see the teeth-like structures here? It will get closed and insect will be digested inside. Okay, now we'll see in detail how pitcher plant captures insects. In a pitcher plant is leaf, the leaf is shaped like a pitcher. See the leaf, this is the leaf of a pitcher plant, a cup-like structure. Can you see the cup-like structure? This is the leaf of the pitcher plant. Okay, with a small lid. There's a small lid over that. Lid means ductal. Okay, there's a small lid. The pitcher is brightly colored to attract insects. The color of this pitcher is very beautiful, very bright, so that insect gets attracted towards it. When insect sits on this pitcher, it goes inside the pitcher and the lid gets closed. Okay, insect enters the pitcher, the lid gets closed, and the insect gets trapped inside. Okay, there are certain digestive juices present in the pitcher inside it, so that will digest the insect, that will kill the insect, and these plants will get food from that insect. Okay, they will get food from that insect. Clear? Yes, Daksh, do you want to say something? Daksh Maheshwari.
No, ma'am. I was only asking what is pitcher plant.
Okay, now clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Sheesh Bhavnani. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, bacha. What do you want to ask? You raised your hand.
Ma'am, nothing. First, I wanted to tell the answer of that.
Okay, now it's clear. What are
Yes,
insectivorous
ma'am.
plants? Come on, then define what are insectivorous plants. What are insectivorous plants? And why are they called unusual plants?
Insectivorous plants eat insects like.
Okay, very good. And why are they unusual plants? What do you mean by unusual?
Because,
Yes.
ma'am, I don't know.
Because they are different. Unusual means different from others. Okay, because they are
Okay.
different than other plants. Other plants are generally green in color and they prepare their food by photosynthesis. Okay, these plants,
Okay.
these insectivorous plants capture and kill insects and they get food
Insects.
from these insects. Very good, Shish. Okay, now we'll move ahead. After insectivorous plants, now we have learnt about unusual plants. Two kinds of unusual plants we have learnt: non-green plants and insectivorous plants. Both of them are unusual. Examples of non-green plants are bracket fungi, mushroom and bread mold. Examples of insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, sundew plant and Venus flytrap. Now, we will learn about what do we mean by flow of energy in the living world. Living world means plants, animals and human beings. These constitute of living birds, means living world consists of living things. Okay. Now, we all need energy to perform various activities. We all need energy. Okay. And where do we get this energy from? Samadhi. Where do we get this energy from? We all need energy. And where do we get energy from? Yes, Samadhi. Samadhi. Where do we get energy from? Just a second. I'll ask. Yes, Pandan.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do we get energy from? We all need energy to do work. Okay? Where do we get this energy from? Yes?
Ma'am,
From?
food.
Yes, from food. We get this energy from food. And Samya, where do we get food from?
From plants.
Very good. Directly or indirectly from plants. Very nice. Okay. Now, okay. All living organisms need energy to perform various activities. When we do work, we need energy to do work. Okay. We obtain this energy from food we eat. Now, green plants, living world consists of both plants and animals. Okay. Now, green plants can prepare their own food. Okay. Non-green plants depend on other plants or decaying plant and animals for their food. Clear? Now, where do green plants get their energy from? Green plants prepare their own food. Clear? Atharv. Yes, Atharv. Atharv Bhardwaj. Where do green plants get their energy from?
What, ma'am?
Where do green plants get their energy from? Yes. Speak up, Atharv. Where do green plants get their energy from? Yes, Manya.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, green
Manya.
plants,
Hmm.
ma'am, green plants,
Yes.
ma'am, green plants, live,
Huh?
living
Huh?
organisms.
Yes, green plants are living organisms. I know. See, we get our energy from food. We get energy from food. Green plants can prepare their own food. Where do they get energy from? Are you getting my question, Manya? Are you
Yes,
getting?
ma'am.
Are you getting my question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Poonam. Yes, Poonam.
Ma'am, we plants get green plants get energy from carbon dioxide.
Only carbon
From
dioxide
food.
gives energy. What gives energy?
No, ma'am, sunlight.
Yes,
air.
sunlight is the right answer, Bacha. Energy they obtain from sunlight. And with the help of this energy, they take carbon dioxide and water and they form glucose. Okay? So, where do they get this energy from? They get energy from sunlight. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, next. See, green plants prepare their own food through photosynthesis. The sun provides the energy to the plants to prepare their food. This is very important. Green plants get their energy from sun. Green plants now prepare their food. Okay. These animals and human beings directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. We eat plants. Okay. Fine. We eat plants. We depend directly or indirectly. And the animals, those who eat flesh of other animals, okay, they also depend on plants. How? Because carnivorous animals eat herbivorous animals and herbivores eat plants. So all animals and human beings directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. Okay. In this way, plants get energy from sun. In this way, the energy of the sun flows to plants first, then to animals, and then to human beings. Animals and human beings. Okay. In this way, the energy of the sun flows from plants to animals and human beings. And this is the flow of energy in the living world. In this way, the sun's energy flows in the world. Sun's energy is first trapped by plants. Then this energy enters the body of animals and human beings when they eat them. Clear? Okay, who has raised hands? Yes, Path. Yes, Path. Do you have a doubt?
No, ma'am, I have to give the answer. That's why I have raised the hand.
Okay, good. Vipra. Yes, Vipra. Do you want to say something?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Shall we move ahead now? Clear. Now this was flow of energy in the living world. And next, now interdependence between plants and animals. This is very important. Interdependence between plants and animals. Okay. Plants and animals depend on each other for food and shelter. Okay. All plants and animals depend on each other for food and shelter. Just a second. Okay. Plants provide food to animals. Okay. Green plants can make their own food. Plants provide food to animals. And plants give out a gas that is very important for all animals and human beings. What is that gas? Yes. Who is this? Yes.
Ma'am, oxygen.
Oxygen. What is your name, Bacha?
Preet.
Preet Chhabra. Very good. The gas released by plants after photosynthesis is oxygen. And oxygen is very important for us to survive because we breathe. All animals and human beings breathe oxygen. Clear? Animals use this oxygen to breathe. Now, when animals breathe, they give out carbon dioxide. When animals breathe, they give out carbon dioxide. And plants use this carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Okay? See the relationship. Plants give out oxygen and take in carbon dioxide. Okay? And animals take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So in absence of any of the two, in absence of plants or in absence of animals, what will happen? There will be no balance in the world. Okay? Because both are dependent on one another. Plants will depend on animals for carbon dioxide and animals will depend on plants for oxygen. Okay? Animals also depend on plants for their food and shelter. Okay? Many birds take their shelter in plants. They grow their nest on plants or trees. Okay? Plants also need animals. Plants also need animals for pollination and seed dispersal. What do you mean by pollination? Plants have some small grain-like structures. Okay? Animals help these pollen grains to transfer from one place to another. This you will learn in higher classes. Okay? Clear? And seed dispersal. Plant seeds get dispersed by many animals and these seeds grow into new plants then. Okay? So plants are also dependent on animals. Animals depend on plants for food and for oxygen. But plants also depend on animals for many purposes. Like they need carbon dioxide that animals give out. They need animals for pollination and seed dispersal. Okay. Now animals such as birds use plants or trees to make their homes. Birds make their homes on trees. Okay. In that way also plants help the animals. Thus plants and animals depend on each other. Okay. This is very, very, very important. Yes. Bhavika. Yes, Bhavika. Do you want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Bachcha, speak.
Ma'am, where do carnivorous plants live?
Where they live in marshy areas. Marshy areas, कीचड़ वाली जगह पे, because there is no nitrogen there and they get this nutrients or food from insects. That's why they eat insects. Okay. Now, Bhavika, did you understand the interdependence between plants and animals?
Yes, ma'am.
So, explain.
Ma'am, plants and animals depend on each other for shelter and food.
Yes, how? Plants take in which gas?
Ma'am, plants take in carbon dioxide.
And give out?
Oxygen.
And animals?
Animals take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide.
Very good. Very nice. In that way, both of them depend on one another. Okay? Fine. Now, balance in nature. Okay? With this, we'll come to the end of our chapter, balance in nature. It is very important. See, now itself I have told that plants and animals depend on each other for food and shelter, for oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay? Now, if in case any of the two, the number of any of the two, either plants or animals get suddenly increased or decreased, okay, what will happen? The nature will get imbalanced. Viven, sit properly, straight. Be very attentive. Okay. Now, and who is this fire? Bacha, what is your name? What is your name? Yes, speak up. Yes. What is your name?
Eklav.
Eklav. Okay. Eklav, whenever you join meeting henceforth, just join with your name. Okay?
Yes. Ma'am, it is my mom's name.
So you can change, bacha. Where you enter the meeting ID, na, beneath that you can write your name. Okay? Now, in nature, there is a balance between plants and animals. Okay? We know that plants and animals depend on each other for survival. We have seen just right now that both of them depend on each other. Now, if the number of plants suddenly increases, what will happen if the number of plants suddenly increases? Plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. If the number of plants suddenly increases, what will happen? Animals are less than plants. So animals give out carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is used by plants for photosynthesis. If animals are less and plants are more, so carbon dioxide given out by the animals will not be enough for plants to undergo photosynthesis. Kashika?
Ma'am.
Yes. Yes, Kashika. Are you getting my points? Kashika, are you understanding what is the meaning of the balance in nature?
Yes, ma'am.
Then explain. Explain. What do you mean by balance in nature?
Ma'am,
Yes. Whatever you know. In any, yes.
ma'am, plants and animals depend on each other for survival.
Yes. Survival means for their existence. They will not be able to live without one another. If there are no animals, plants will die. If there are no plants, animals will also vanish. Yes. Okay. Plants and animals. How do they depend? Plants give out which gas?
Carbon
Plants give
dioxide.
out. Plants take in carbon dioxide and give out.
Oxygen.
And animals?
Ma'am, they give out carbon dioxide and enters oxygen.
Very good. Very nice, Kashika. Very good. Okay. In that way, there is a balance in our atmosphere. Okay. The animals, suppose if the number of plants suddenly increase, so what will happen? There are less number of animals. Less number of animals means less carbon dioxide is given out. Less carbon dioxide is given out. That means plants have increased. The number of plants have increased. So plants need now more carbon dioxide. But since there are animals are less, carbon dioxide produced is also less. So there will be an imbalance. Okay? There will be an imbalance. And similarly, if the number of animals suddenly increases, if the number of animals increases, what will happen? Tanay will say, what will happen if number of animals increases? Tanay Agrawal. Just a second. Where is Tanay? Tanay, I am unable to unmute you. Yes. Tanay? Isn't there any mic there? Okay, fine. Vandana Sevani. Yes. Vandana Sevani. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Your name is Vandana?
No,
What is
ma'am. That's my mother.
Okay, what is your name, bacha?
Vanshika.
Yes, Vanshika Sevani. Fine. Vanshika, now explain if suddenly the number of animals increases, then what will happen? There are many animals and very few
Ma'am.
plants.
So, ma'am, and ma'am, how it? So the balance will get disturbed.
Very nice. How balance will get disturbed? Because animals need oxygen to breathe and they also need food.
Yes, ma'am, and because
disturbed.
animals and plants both depend on each other.
Very good. Because animals need food and oxygen that plants give them. If number of animals increase and plants are very few, they will not get enough food and oxygen and they will start dying. Okay? And there will be, the balance in nature will get disturbed. Very good, Vanshika.
Thank.
Okay? Now what happens? See, human activities such as mining or cutting of trees, we humans, we cut trees for our purposes, we grow, we build factories, we build houses, etc. So for this purpose, we cut trees carelessly. So this cutting of trees on a large scale may disturb the balance in nature, because cutting of trees, what will it lead to? It will lead to decrease in the number of plants. If the number of plants get decreased, animals will suffer. So this, even for mining and cutting of tree, we just disturb the nature. Okay, when we disturb the nature, what happens? Number of plants and animals also get decreased. And when number of plants and animals get decreased, okay, it will create an imbalance in nature. So we should be very careful. We should be very careful. So how can we create a balance in nature? If people are human and due to human activities, many trees are being cut. So what can you do? Okay, what can you do? Yes, Siddhi.
Ma'am.
Yes, what can you do to create a balance in nature? How can you contribute? How can you contribute? Can you do anything to create a, many humans are cutting trees and they are disturbing the nature, and what can you do to just, yes,
We can say them don't cut the trees.
okay, anything else? Okay, wait. Yes, Mohammed Umar Sheikh, just a second, I'll come to you. Yes, Mohammed Umar. Yes, what can we do, bacha? Louder.
We can grow plants.
Yes,
can
very good. We can plant more and more. Saisha, sit properly. Straight. Okay, we can grow more and more trees to create a balance in nature. We should also protect animals also. Okay, we should avoid hunting of animals. Clear? Very nice.
Thank you, ma'am, for.
Good. Okay. So we should be very careful. We should not cut trees carelessly, okay? And in such a way, we should create a healthy environment, and we should be very careful. We should keep growing trees, okay, that can give more and more oxygen out, that will be very useful for other living organisms. We should protect plants as well as animals, okay? There are certain species of animals that are also very less in number. We should protect them. We should not hunt them. We should not poach over them, okay? In this way, we can create a balance in nature, okay? With this, we have come towards the end of our chapter. We have completed our chapter. Now we'll quickly revise what we have learned today, okay? And we'll see if we have what we have learned. Before this, topics we have covered today were non-green plants. Clear it was? Abhiraj. Yes, Abhiraj Rana. Sit
Yes,
straight.
ma'am.
Yes, bacha. Now tell me quickly, what did we learn today?
Ma'am, we learned balance in nature.
Yes.
Ma'am, interdependence between plants and animals.
Yes.
Ma'am, flow of energy in living world.
Yeah. And yes.
Ma'am,
Yes. What did we learn today? Anything else? Some unusual
unusual plants.
and some unusual plants. In some unusual plants, what did we learn? What did we discuss? Two kinds of unusual plants we discussed today. What were they?
Green.
Non-green plants and insectivorous plants. Okay, non-green plants and insectivorous plants. Clear? Okay, very good. Fine? Clear? So these were our topics for today. And previously, what did we learn? We learned about photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Okay. What do you mean by photosynthesis? Now, who is going to tell me what is photosynthesis? Yajat. Yes, Yajat. What do you mean by photosynthesis? Fast, bacha. What is photosynthesis? We have already learned about photosynthesis. What is it? Yes. Anyone else? Who will tell me what is photosynthesis? What was this chapter all about? We have completed our chapter today. Okay. What was this chapter all about? Daksh. Yes. Daksh Maheshwari. Yes, Daksh. What was this chapter all about? Daksh Maheshwari. Yes.
Ma'am, the chapter was all about some unusual plants and non-green plants.
And before this, what did we learn? This was the last portion of our chapter. What did we learn before this?
Ma'am, we learn independence of between plants.
Interdependence, yes. And in
And
our
then-
last lecture, yesterday, what did we study yesterday?
Ma'am, yesterday I was not there. I forgot to I was not in class, ma'am.
Okay, no issues. Huh? Just go through the worksheets and PDF that I have uploaded. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yesterday's PDF I have already uploaded. Go through it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Kavya Gupta. Yes. Tell me, bacha. Okay, what did we learn yesterday? What is this chapter all about? What is the name of the chapter?
Ma'am, the name of the chapter is the food factory of plants.
Yes. What does it mean, the food factory of plants?
Ma'am means the factory of
Yes. Yes.
the food factory of plants.
And what is the food factory of plants? Which part of the plant is called the food factory of plant? Which part of the plant is known as the food factory of plant? Yes, Rohel Khan. Which part of the plant is known as the food factory of the plant?
Leaf.
Very good. Leaves are known as food factory of the plants, and this chapter was all about leaves and preparing food by them. The plants prepare their food by the process known as Kashvi. What is the name of the process by which plants prepare their food? Yes, Kashvi Jain. Plants prepare their food by which process? The name of the process I want. Fast. Kashvi, can you hear me? Can you hear me, bacha? Yes, na? So what is the process called? Yes, Sarvagya. Louder. Very good, Shabash. The process is known as photosynthesis, and this chapter was all about that. Okay, plants prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Plants take in carbon dioxide and water and give out oxygen, and they prepare glucose. Okay, and they get energy from sun, and they also need chlorophyll for this. 4 conditions are very important for photosynthesis, that are, okay, see, 4 conditions that are very necessary for photosynthesis are, I'll say, chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. And we have learned about the activities that shows that chlorophyll is very important for plant, sunlight is very necessary for plant, and carbon dioxide and water are very important for photosynthesis. Okay, that's what we have learned in this chapter. Okay, fine. And with this, we come to the end of our chapter, and I'll be ending the meeting now. I'll just go through the chat. Very good. Yes, Preet Chavra. Do you want to ask anything, Preet? Are you here? Yes, Preet. Fast. Yes, bacha. Preet.
Ma'am, yesterday you tell that some leaves help in reproduction.
Yes.
So, ma'am, flowers like broccoli is not having seeds. So how it gives reproduction?
Yes, they have other vegetative parts that help in reproduction. Okay. Many plants that are not having seeds, they reproduce through certain vegetative parts. Okay, they reproduce through certain vegetative. And what do you mean by vegetative parts of the plants? Vegetative parts may be their roots, their stem, their flowers, their fruits, etc. Clear? Okay, and this you will learn in detail in your higher classes. This is known as vegetative reproduction, bacha. Clear? Okay, Preet?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And leaves reproduce through buds. Many leaves have buds over them, and when we separate the bud and grow them separately, they will grow into a new plant. Right? With this, I will end the meeting now. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good day, bacha.